Today's video, I want to talk about gluten, okay? Before I get started, let me just say I went to my dental hygienist today and she said she follows me on Instagram. Yay! Anyway, and the other thing I want to mention at the beginning of this video is on Quora, I had somebody start to follow me on, I don't know, YouTube or Instagram, and they're like, why don't you take off all that stuff at the top of your whiteboard and then you're going to have more room to write? But the reason I've got this up here is this is to tell you that eventually, my New York City publisher is going to publish this book. They say late spring, but the title of the book is Are You Fat Making or Calorie Burning? So that's why it's up there, okay? So that's for that guy. Okay, let's talk about gluten. Now, certainly if you have a gluten immune response, right, it means that if you eat gluten, it's going to damage the lining of your small intestine. So that's celiac disease. But if that's not you, why are you eating gluten-free food? I'll bet you think it's good for your waistline. Maybe you think you're going to lose more fat or more weight if you eat gluten-free food. So let's talk about gluten and why that might not be true. First thing is, where do you find gluten? Well, it's in various flours, specifically wheat, barley, and rye. So obviously you're going to find it in pasta and bread and cereals and all those sorts of things. Why does it help those flours? It binds foods together and it maintains shape. So that's why the food industry likes to use gluten, okay? But for some reason, people think gluten is not good for weight. But really, what is gluten? You might be surprised to find out that gluten is a protein. It's not a carb. It's a protein. And when you take gluten out of food, okay, you still need, even though the protein in this, the gluten protein in this helps with keeping everything consistent. If you take this protein out of those flours, you have to replace it for something to continue to maintain the shape. And what does the food industry use? Potato starch and tapioca. And what is that? Carbs, okay? So if you're going to be eating a lot of gluten-free food, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be eating more calories. You know, if I was to compare two things, like a cookie gluten-free and a cookie that's not gluten-free, you're going to have more calories, you're going to have more sugar, fewer nutrients. It's not going to help with fat or weight loss, I can guarantee that. And some of them have more carb calories than the gluten, same thing in gluten, okay, if I'm comparing two things. So think about where it is, why it is, the fact that it's protein, what the substitutes are, and that it may not be good for weight loss. In fact, it usually isn't. So I want you to check the ingredients lists and you will be shocked. And I find if, like before I knew this, I was eating gluten-free, and it turns out it had more calories. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.